Okay, we're going to start the call to order and welcome everyone to the Committee of Whole meeting for Monday, May 1st, 2023. And as we usually do, we will start with the acknowledgement of treaties of peace and friendship. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq peoples. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. Thank you. Olawan. Next is the reaffirmation of the oath of office. We do hereby accept the office of council and will diligently, faithfully, and impartially discharge to the best of our ability the duties of the office as may be imposed upon us by law. Thank you. Next is the adoption of the agenda. Do we have any changes?
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to remove one of my items related to an update on fire services and future work. There is quite a bit of information that I do need to move over to council. Some of it has budget implications to it, so I just want to make sure that it is front and center. But I think for tonight, I'd like to gather a bit more information before I put that over to council, so you can expect that in the next couple of weeks. But there is a lot going on, a lot moving on it, a lot of moving parts, and we have various entities involved. So I'll bring council up to speed in the coming weeks on that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? If not, then can we have a motion to adopt the agenda with the amendment?
M 2023-05-01-88 that the agenda be adopted as amended.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion is passed. Next is statements of conflict of interest. If anyone has a conflict of interest they wish to acknowledge, they can make it known to the clerk. Presentations, petitions, and delegations, there are nil. Business, and up next is business of council, and Councillor Carmichael will begin.
Just so everyone knows, I attended the invitation at the port on April 21st. It was an announcement by the Minister of Régent Savoie, the responsible for the Regional Development Corporation. The provincial government is investing more than $4 million to increase the capacity and efficiency at the Port of Eldoon. This will support the construction of a conveyor system that will alleviate congestion issues of the Terminal 3 by using Terminal 3 to unload material on the new laydown area. This is economic growth for the north and our region, so it's good news for the area.
Okay, thank you. Any comments to that? Sure.
Yeah, just real briefly, Mr. Mayor. Lillian attended that meeting as Deputy Mayor. The Port of Eldoon was scrambling very last minute looking for someone to speak, and Lillian did step up. We did receive a note of thank you from the Port of Eldoon. I just wanted to recognize Lillian for that.
Yep, and I was going to mention the same thing. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for stepping in and doing a good job for us. I appreciate that.
Thank you. It was nice, and I was very happy to be able to do it.
Thank you.
Just, if I may, Your Worship, just to add to that, I was present at the ceremony. I also received in my monthly message with the Port of Eldoon from Jennifer McCluskey Moffat a very strong thank you for your presence, Deputy Mayor Carmichael, and she was very thankful for your words and your comments. So very well done.
Thank you, Councillor Burke. Next, if that's it for Councillor Carmichael, is Councillor Guitar McDonnell.
I'd just like to put on the table a few discussions. One being that On June the 3rd, the village does their regular cleanup, yearly cleanup, which is amazing job done by so many organizations in our community. Unfortunately, the Jacket River Gorge is not part of that cleanup because it's on the cusp of where we are. So I would like to put a call out for any volunteers for June the 4th, which is the day after our regular cleanup, to meet at the gorge around 10 o'clock to help with the cleanup back there. It is one of our most visited entities in our community in the summer and in the fall. And I think that we need to make sure that it remains clean and upkept because Mr. Devereux does an amazing job, but I mean, help from the community would be essential. So I'm going to put it in the messenger for June the 4th to meet back at the gorge at 10 a.m. To help with the cleanup for the summer. Also, if it's at all possible, I don't know if it's been done in the past, requesting a couple of picnic tables to be set up back there to help the visitors when they visit. So I don't know if that's been done before. It has been. So I would like to request 2 picnic tables as well. But I will put a call out for volunteers for the 4th of June. It'll be in the messenger as well. And the more group we get, the better it'll be. Okay.
Anyone want to add to that? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we have done that in the past, so we can make those arrangements. Usually we connect with Mr. Devereux and he makes that request. Just to note, it's great that we can contribute to the gorge, and I think that it's a great incentive. I just want to make council aware that we were approached by tourism in the past, Tourism Chaleur, and there was some concerns around the gorge and just kind of some safety issues. So they really kind of reinforced the municipality. There was always a little bit of issues because it's not our municipal property. It's owned by the Skidoo Club. So, you know, we can go through the efforts of promoting the Skidoo Club and in turn, you know, getting some traction around the gorge. So definitely great incentive. If there was some other things that we could also do to maybe try to enhance it a little bit, it might be a great conversation to have to see what we can do there. Again, we got to be very diligent that it's not our property. Everything needs to be communicated through the Skidoo Club or facilitated through the Skidoo Club. But just to give you a little bit of background on that, there has been conversations about that in the past.
I would also say too, I don't think we've ever done a cleanup like assistance back there. That's good. I think that's good because I think, you know, Paul can definitely use the help right now, especially. So that's good. And you had a second item as well?
Yes, it's been requested by the Power Gym. I spoke to one of their members to see if it's possible that they could get the room beside the 2 rooms that they have that's vacant right now, just to put some of their equipment in, some of the treadmills and a couple of bikes in that room, just to take some congestion away from within the 2 rooms that they have right now. It wouldn't be a permanent fix, but if we could do it while the room is vacant, they would appreciate that. I told them that I would bring it to council and we could discuss it and take it from there.
Okay. Any council members have any thoughts?
I have a difficult time with this because it's not because I don't want to give it to them. It's just that we already gave them that second room and we had bought a bunch of equipment and we're helping with the insurance. And I feel that once the equipment's in there, it'll be harder to move it out if we do rent the room. If the council feel they want to do it, I'll support it, but I'm on the fence with it right now because of, you know, we give them that room, you know, then it's forgotten and then it's permanent, but, you know, we'd like to have something, a small business in there if it's at all possible. I know it's when it's vacant right now, it's just that we had gave them so much in the past.
Any other council members?
Yeah, I would be in favor of giving them that room. There's several offices that are already available for rent. There's nothing going on in this building, so it'd be nice to have something happening here.
Anyone else? Okay, so there's some food for thought, Councilor Guitar-Martino. Yep, okay, thank you. Administration, CEO Lee.
Okay, for council, I have two very similar points on here that we could likely address simultaneously. Both of them have to do with regional studies that we were approached on by the Regional Service Commission. One of them is around a regional pool study, and this is taking a look at, well, I've provided all the information to council through email. They've got an executive summary on what it is that they're trying to achieve. They did ask for this to be on the agenda for May. So what I'm looking for in this instance is if there's any information that has not been provided to council already that you would need to be able to make a decision on this, please let me know. Issue a directive to staff so that we can source out that information. And not to group it together, but I do expect the conversations, if there are any, to be similar. But again, there's also the housing, the housing study that the Service Commission is looking to have done. And again, we've moved over all the information to council on that, but if there is additional information that council needs, this one does seem to be, they are looking to action it very quickly. We do have meetings coming up. It's a little bit less of a priority timeline-wise because we do have a little bit of time. However, they're definitely asking us to process it sooner than later. So with both of these studies, one being the regional pool study, one being the regional housing study, if there's anything that council is looking for that they would like for administration to collect in order for them to be able to make a decision on this, we would like some direction and what it is that you're looking for us to collect. Thank you.
Just to follow up that a little bit, just on the pool study, as we know, the Service Commission is taking over more mandates, and one of those mandates is recreational facilities. And so one of the facilities that came under that umbrella was the pool. We don't have any yet in Beldoon, but I'm hoping at some point, considering all the outside hockey we get, that our building would be considered that. It's not yet, but I'm not, they should be taking a look at it. Back to the pool. They gave, if council were to feel that it needed more information on this, and I would suspect that they might, considering what's being asked, there might be a possibility, CEO Lee, of asking if someone could come and do a presentation. I think that would be fair, considering, the amount of money. And so I think that might be a good idea to have someone come. I know there's a presentation out there for them to give because they've given it. So anyway, if council wish for that, then I think CEO Lee will try to set that up.
If I may, Your Worship, there was a recent, I believe I was watching the Bathurst City Council, and the topic of conversation had to do with the pool that is in Bathurst. And it is literally costing a tremendous amount of money. So with that said, if the Regional Service Commission is looking at taking over recreation, and Beldoon will be part of the Regional Service Commission and responsible for a certain portion of what a new pool will cost, because that was the topic of conversation. Maybe we should have a little report on how much it is costing to build a new pool, or how much the city of Bathurst is losing with this pool, just to see where that information will take us. So just something, food for thought.
Okay. So what I would say, CEO Lee's, if in your schedule, if at some point you can fit that in, it would be helpful, understanding your busy schedule. So, yeah, it's and those are requests that we're probably going to see more of in the future as opposed to less, as more facilities come under the mandate of the Service Commission. So, yeah, this is probably just the beginning of perhaps many. Okay, CEO Lee.
Okay, the last item for me echoes Marilyn's point. So I wanted to bring up the available office space and the cafe here in the municipal building. So first and foremost, as Councillor Robinson alluded to, it would be great to have some activity in the building. The room that the Power Club is asking for right now is currently unfinished. So regardless of if we want to provide that room to them, or regardless of if we're looking to recruit in new clients, that room should probably be completed. So I don't know if there's been any previous discussion on this or not. I believe that we should do something very, very basic. We can just carry over the flooring that we currently have in the hallway into that room, carry over the same ceiling. So I will be looking for some direction from council on that. If that's something that we want to entertain, it would be good, as we said, to have that prepared. There was also conversation about the pricing with the previous council, and unless it's changed, I believe that the double occupancy space that is now vacant was priced at $1,000 per month, and the single occupancy was at $600 a month. So unless anything's changed from council, it would be great for us to start advertising that space. Get it out, let people know. There's lots of means for us to be able to do that. So that's a direction that I'm definitely going. The cafe, I'm very curious to get some feedback from council on, because I do have interest in that. I do have at least 2 parties that are looking for that. So I'm not sure, in the previous iteration, it was a very convoluted process. We did request an RFP, so we were receiving in proposals from entities, and council was sort of going through and evaluating that. There's likely a much more efficient way of doing it. So I'm not sure if council has an idea of what they're looking to charge for that space, or if there's any parameters around that. But if there's feedback on that, it would be great to put that together and again start advertising, or at the very least start talking to the interested parties on it. They are ready and willing to dance. They're looking for information on it. So I'd like to get that over to them as soon as possible.
Council?
CEO Scott Ferguson worked on that file, so you should have information from him on what we were looking for in terms of fees and that sort of thing, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea to rent it out. It would be nice to have something in the building, but yes, there was work on it in the past or something there. I don't know if that we want to take the same way, but I'm sure there's a file somewhere with what we were going to charge.
Go ahead.
So that's great. So I'll go through, I should have access to his old files, so I can do that. I'll sort of summarize what I can put together, and I'll put that out to council, just make sure that we're all in agreement on what that is. And once I get that okay from council, we'll start right away. We'll start rolling that out. I'm really hoping like within the next 2 weeks that we can start the conversations.
Okay, also, just to let you know, I know from January 2022 to March 2022, the discussions surrounding rooms, sort of the information that you're looking for was on the agenda, I think, more than once. So you might be able to go back there and sort of get some direction too. Okay, and with that, I believe that's all we have for tonight. If we can get a motion to adjourn.
M 2023-05-09-89, that the meeting is adjourned at 7:19.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion passed. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.